Yeah.
Good morning, guys. Paul here. Uh, Today I got a 2001 E430 4MATIC. I'm getting fault codes for a transmission issue plus module N153. I replaced the transmission control module in this. It was saturated with oil. The adapter plug is known to fail on these and leak, and the oil can follow all the way up through the lines and destroy the computer. So what I did when I got the car, this is the $300 Mercedes. I did coolant, oil change, everything, rear end, differentials. The front is stupid. They don't have a drain plug on the front differential on these. But I did a transmission flush and filter change. But now I'm getting, it was good for a minute. Now I'm getting these codes again. I'm thinking the conductor plate went bad. They're known to fail after around 100,000 miles. This has, I believe, 127,000 miles on it. So what I'm going to try doing now is throw the conductor plate on, a replacement. And I'm going to do a ohms test on every one of the solenoids. I'm going to take you over here and show you this. You can make a note of the position of these solenoids and their values. You have modulating pressure control solenoid, that's 4 to 8 ohms. Shift pressure control solenoid, 4 to 8 ohms. 1, 2, 4, and 5 shift solenoid, 2.5 to 6.5 ohms. 3 to 4 shift solenoid, 2.5 to 6.5 ohms. TCC solenoid is 2 to 4 ohms. 2 to 3 solenoid is 2.5 to 6.5 ohms. All right, I figure while I have this off, I may as well test all of my solenoids. If I get a discrepancy on any one of the readings on this, I'll just throw the transmission pan on temporarily to just protect it from getting dirt contamination. I'll cover this up in a plastic bag, the throttle body, and leave it in my basement while I get a replacement solenoid. So if you're going through the trouble of changing your conductor plate, check your shift solenoids, all your control solenoids. Doesn't take that much time, and you'll know what's going on with the transmission. Okay, all right, I'm gonna get my tools together. I got a brand new toy I'm gonna try using. I got a AC Delco electric ratchet. It seems like it's built sturdy as a brick crap house, but it's a little bigger than what I was expecting. I like the size of the Milwaukee. They're a little bit smaller. But this looked like it was built well. It was on sale. I got it for, I think, 140 bucks or $148. And I looked that the batteries were cheaper and I can get access to parts for it. So we're going to see how that works today. All right, we'll be back. Let me get my tools. Stop recording. Okay, we're under the car. First thing I got to do is drain the transmission. That's a 5mm Allen for the drain plug. I'm going to start draining this out, let that drip for a while, then we'll pull the pan down and get the adapter plug cover off. Okay? I took a 5mm. I got this car, just so you know, I got the front half on ramps and I jacked up the back from the rear differential, and then I put jack stands under it on the jacking points. I should jack the front of the car so I get a little more room to work, but this will be a little tight, but I'll be okay. If I have to, I will jack it. Make sure you clean that bolt so you sink that 5mm in there all the way. You don't want to strip that drain plug out. Mine's nice and clean because I just did this maybe 2 months ago. I haven't really had the car on the road. Fluid looks pretty clean. I did a flush on it. I guess there was a little bit of the old fluid left, but it looks pretty clean. All right, I'm going to let that drain out. I don't think it's going to overfill that container. You want to watch it for a minute? I'm going to put the drain plug away. That's a new crush washer on there too. All right, let me let that drain.
Have this running?
No, no, no way. No, you do not do that with the engine running. You'll burn the transmission up.
Now, why is mine you have to do when it's running?
Some reason you have to pump it out. With this, you'll burn a pump up. Yours must have a reservoir that it pumps from to empty it. This one, it all settles down in the transmission pan. I had it running when I flushed it. What I did when I flushed this, it's a good idea for you guys that want to do a transmission flush. Let me show you this hose. I took a heavy black garden hose right here. When you pull the transmission filter out, you can fit this snugly, just force it up against that, and then put the other end of the hose in a fresh gallon of transmission fluid and start the car and have somebody run through the gears, and it'll keep sucking up that fresh fluid and pump all the old stuff out of the cooler and the radiator and the torque converter. I had to stop and add more fluid to the gallon jug and then continue again and run through the gears. And it was a good way to flush out the transmission instead of disconnecting lines or anything. That's just another way to do it. Being that I flushed this, I'm not going to just throw good transmission fluid away. What I'm doing is I have a very brand new container, very clean. I'm capturing this fluid, then I'm going to run it through a couple of coffee filters and one of those gold metal coffee filters with the fabric inserts to make sure there's no debris in there, and I'm going to reuse this fluid. I don't feel like throwing out $100 worth of fluid. I did not go with Mercedes-Benz transmission fluid. What I used was Shell 134 that meets the specs for Mercedes-Benz 722.6 transmission, and I got a better deal on that on eBay, so that's an alternative to using Mercedes-Benz transmission fluid. I've been on the forums and everything. People have said they've used that with no negative consequence at all, so that's a way to save some money. Okay guys, I just dropped the transmission pan. That's not that complicated. 6 bolts to remove, actually 7, because you got one that holds the shield for the adapter plug. That's a T30 Torx to take them out. When you're retightening them, they're I believe it's 8 Newton meters or 72 inch-pounds. The same with the throttle body is 8 Newton meters or 72 inch-pounds. I could not find the torque spec for the solenoid bolts, but I'm assuming it's probably the same. I'm going to take it easy on it. I'm not going to over tighten them because I'm going into aluminum. So better to be safe than sorry. All right. I was going to save this fluid because I had done that flush, but I'm not going to be cheap. That's not that much fluid. That's like 4 or 5 quarts, and that doesn't look too great. So I'm assuming that that new fluid helped clean that transmission out. That's what my buddy said. He thought it was the idea of why it looks so shitty already. I'm tending to agree with that, so I'm going to go get another filter. I'm going to throw a new filter in it and replace that with fresh transmission fluid. Cheap is expensive when it comes to certain things. I would rather spend a few bucks on oil than spend over $1,000 something on a transmission. All right. I dropped the pan. Those were T30 Torx. Now I got to take out the adapter plug. I got a pick tool to grab this. Gotta grab this plastic piece and take that down. That's got to come down flat. I hope you can see this on the camera. Hard to get a good angle down here. You come down with that lever. Then you can remove the plug. Plug comes out. No, the plug's dry. There's no oil on the plug.
No oil on the
plug's
plug?
nice and dry. Yeah, it's nice and dry. Oh, a little bit of oil on the inside, but that's all right. That's on the other side of the O-ring. Why am I having a hard time getting this plug out? Why is it above that wire? You son of a bitch. On the wrong side of that wire. I don't like messing with this wire too much because it's old, you know? This car is old, man. It shouldn't be that hard to get that out of there. I think it wound up on the wrong side of the other wire.
I think all these wires could be replaced. Oh yeah, they can. They're for the cats.
I think this wound up on the wrong side of this wire here. That's why I'm having a hard time getting it out. Nope, it's on the same harness. There we go. I gotta slip it out that way. Here we go.
Is it screwed in still?
What the fuck?
You gotta screw it. Should we drop this down so you have some
I got
more?
it. I got it out of the way now. Okay. I just had to turn that tab back up to get that around there. I believe.
There is a tab over here that you could let this whole
Disconnect
thing
it?
down. Yeah. On this side.
Yeah, that's this wired. It's not the same wire, Frank. That's hooked
No,
up
I
to-
know that, but that's so you could get your hand in there.
Take this whole thing off? Yeah, there's a bolt there.
Yeah.
All right, I got an 8mm socket on here. I believe this is 8mm. I might be wrong. Thought it was 8mm. What is this? Bolt loose? I can't tell. Can't tell whether I'm on a nut or not.
Oh, was it loose?
No, it's got to be a 7mm or something. It's smaller.
I was gonna say I think it's a 7.
I'll get back to you on the size for the adapter plug bolt. It's not an 8mm. Adapter plug has a little bolt inside of it. That's a 7mm. Then to drop the valve body, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I believe. 6, 7, 8, 9 bolts that got to come out of the throttle body. 9, 10, 11 bolts. This has got to get disconnected as well, I believe, to take the throttle body out. All right, I'm going to get back to that. I don't even know if I'm going to bother filming that. It's just, I believe it's these 11 bolts because I saw this piece taken off on one of the videos. I guess that has to come out of the way. I'll see as I loosen the throttle body. And then we're going to do the rest on the bench where I'll show you how to test those. Okay, be back. Okay, when you're pulling this pan, the valve body down, take note of the position of this setup and that plastic piece. There's a bar that has to go inside that plastic piece. Oh, there's one little slot that it goes. Oh, there's a little slot there, Frank, that it goes into. There's a little slot on that plastic piece. There's only one way it can go.
Yes, that's what I was saying.
Yeah, it's just one piece. Yeah, I don't know if this even needs to come off. These may just be brackets that hold the spring. That's a spring.
Yeah, that's.
I don't think that even needs to come off of there, to be honest with
I
you.
don't believe so. You just gotta put it back in that first one.
Yeah. Well, it'll go right back as long as nobody moves the shift lever, you know?
Yeah.
You know what I'm going to do? Oh, I'm on jacks. It's not going to move anywhere. I was going to chuck the wheels. Okay, that's a transmission valve body out. This side is to the driver's side. You got to make sure that this fits on that lever. This spring will hook up to the shifter. I dropped a bolt in here somewhere. Where did that bolt go? Back down the hole again.
Yeah.
Isn't that something? That's amazing. I need that cardboard on top of the table.
Cardboard on top of the table?
Yeah, shake it off first. I don't want any dirt on it. Let me wipe it off. Good. Right up on the table with that. I'm gonna keep this right in the position that it goes in the car, you know?
Yeah, the long piece on the passenger side.
Yeah. Well, I know the spring to the driver, you know? There's no gasket in here, so this has got to be clean, you know?
Yeah.
Just metal to metal seal. Look at that. Look at all that fucking sediment there, man. I think I'm gonna spray that out. This is probably full of shit. Ah, the filter will get in my way. All right, these covers pop off. Let me film this. Let me get the other camera set up over here. I think it's gonna rain now. You know what? Let me get the other camera. Mimi. I hope it doesn't fucking rain. It looks like it's gonna rain on me. Where's the GoPro? Here it is.
Now, which part are we changing?
The whole black piece. This thing. Those plates go bad and you get a bad connection. That would show that the computer's fucking up. Because one of the connections going through this is not making a connection with all the solenoids. You understand? Yeah. So it would show the computer's fucking up too. Multimeter. I gotta do those ohms test. Let me get the other conductor plate. If this works, this shit's going on the road within the next couple of weeks, you know? Let me try to get this cover off.
Now that it's dirty or...
What, in here?
No, right here.
It is. Sediment on it. That's a pressure thing. Pressure solenoid.
Yeah, but if it's dirty, that'll throw it off. Right?
I don't know. Let me see. I gotta get over here. I think there's a clip on this side. It's supposed to just come right off, but it's not. Why is it not? There it is. Let me show the people. I need my ratchet. Same size? Yeah. See, I like that too. They make everything the same fucking size. You know what I mean? Now with an American car, you would need 10 different fucking tools. Yeah. You know? And you can't even do this. You can't get to the solenoids. You got to pull the whole transmission out of these fuck. On the truck, I can. I gotta pee. You want to take a piss break?
Yeah. Where am I going?
Right here. When I'm done. Kill the weeds. Keeps the animals away too. You know that, right? The human piss keeps the animals the fuck out of here. Wendy gets mad at me for doing that.
Oh, so you want me to get in trouble, right?
She's not gonna see you.
Well, I don't know. What am I going? Right here. When am I going? Right here. What 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 am I going?
Okay, we got the conductor plate out. I hope you can see there. I got that on wide. Maybe I shouldn't have it on wide, huh? Let me stop this and change the focus. Okay, I got the conductor plate out. The side with the spring is on the driver's side on a left-hand drive vehicle. These covers, you just lift from the outside, they pop off. Same with this one, lift from the outside and it'll pop off. Again, it's a T30 here. Wow, they really threaded in a lot. You're blocking the camera. Okay, I got to reverse my picture here. I had my my reference paper with the solenoids backwards, so I just flipped my reference paper around. Now I got a multimeter. I'm going to do an ohms test reading on each one of these solenoids.